you shared a statistic. You said only 11% of dealers who attended a recent webinar said they could actually retrieve every dead deal from the past 5 years. And that's astounding, right? Because there's a legal requirement to keep dead deals. First off, how do you define a dead deal in this case? And what's the FTC exposure if you aren't able to pull that dead deal back up years later, up to 5?
Yeah, a dead deal is somebody that I've engaged with, collected private information, ran their credit, and they didn't buy a car. Okay. The retention period for the statute is 5 years. 7 years are the term of the retail installment contract for sold deals. And the FTC exposure is really a combination of protecting the privacy, but then it also ties into fair credit reporting, which requires me to have consent before I pull somebody's credit. Signed credit app, web app from outside the store where we track the IP address. So the exposure is up to $53,000 for violation for not safeguarding that information. And again, it's 5 years back. To your point of the dealership with a $191,000 fine, it was a pretty simple conversation. Attorney calls the dealer. Hey, I represent Jane Doe, who now lives in New Orleans, but 3 years ago, she was in your dealership, you ran her credit, and she never said you could. I need to see proof. I'll call you back in a couple days. They go on the witch hunt for the dead deal jacket, which they couldn't find. Attorney calls him back, dealer tells him that. The conversation shifts to, well, Mr. Dealer, not only have you violated your privacy statement, you violated FCRA. And we don't think Susie Q is an isolated case. We're going to file a lawsuit, class action, lots of discovery, unfair deceptive acts and practices. He wrote a check for $191,000 to make it go away. And I also remember years ago, I flew to California to meet with a client. Got off the airplane in LAX, got in my rental car, was driving out of the airport, and there's a big billboard there that said, if you had your credit declined to the dealer, call this number. They're not looking to help repair your credit. They're looking to use that to get in and turn into that kind of problem.
Yeah. So that's a good wake-up call for anybody in the industry. Go check your deals. Can you pull up those dead deals? Because there is still a liability and a risk that needs to be protected by not only having them, but also securing those.